Hey guys, what's up? Stephen here, and we're back to another Roblox tutorial. And in this tutorial, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some lightings or changes in our lightings. We're gonna adjust the lightings in our Roblox game so that we would have that good ambience effect. So bear in mind that this is only lightings and not actual effects. This is the default lighting of Roblox, wherein you can use this and it could give your game a better lighting or a better view. Because, like photographs and videos, lighting play an immense role in game development. So let's start. So as you can see, my current default Roblox is on night, and you can definitely adjust a day and night cycle. We have a video about a day and night cycle, so you can go watch that if you're interested. But right now, what we're focusing is how to adjust a fixed time on your game. Let's say a map is a fixed nighttime, you'll be better watching this instead of the day and night cycle. So let's start. So first off is our clock time. Clock time is basically the time and day of your game. So if I put 12, this is an actual 12 noon. If I put 24, that will be 0. Or 23.5, that is your where the moon is the highest. Or in if I put 6, that is kind of 6 a.m. in our world, or in how would you call that? Let's say 4. No, 6 would be good. 6 is more of like the dawn in our area, or in 4. Usually that's usually 4, where you see the first light of the sun. But yeah, so we're gonna have that dawn that we have, and we'll have the dusk around 18. So this is the dusk. So the sun is going down, the moon is gonna go up. So that is how you differentiate the time in Roblox. And of course, you can get a certain time also if you're gonna put in the time of the day. Let's say 11, 11, 11. You get that because it's military time. So if you actually want, like, the meme of 11, 11, let's put that to 23, 23, and that's gonna be 11, 11 in your time. In your clock, if you're not using the military hours, you're gonna see 11, 11, 11. So that's how you could adjust a certain specific time or a clock time in your game. Now, going back, let's go on to 6, because this would be the better time to show you the colors. So you see that the ambient is colored dark gray, but if you see, if I go lighter, it goes brighter, but if I go darker, darker. So this stays true to a lighting. So you see, even there's light, there's still dark. Let's put this on 12. There's still a little bit of dark, and see what happens on the light. Prepare your eyes. So it still gets brighter, but if you make it darker, the ambient would be darker. And then I'm not gonna mess with the brightness, but this is pretty straightforward. So if you have a darker environment, feel free to increase your brightness, but I wouldn't recommend you to get your ambient in a lighter space and then you'll have a high brightness. Most players wouldn't really play your game, but of course that's a different approach when you're kind of using flashbangs and stuff like that. But yeah, those are the most important stuffs: ambient and brightness. So color shift is mostly likely, hold on, how can I show this better? but this is kind of the color shift on when people is kind of in the bottom and you'd see it on the top. So something like, and you'd see that we're going, if you see that on the bottom it's kind of changing to lighter. Not sure if you're seeing that on the screen, but you'd see that better on a different color. So let's say maybe let's put it on 18. Then let's see on to the bottom. I'm not sure if you're noticing the change on the colors on the U, but yeah, that's kind of like a subtle change on the color shifts when you're using your ambience in the game. It would be better if you'd have like shadows in the game. You would be able to see those reflections. So yeah, so the other stuffs is more on the lightings. If you notice, we're staying at 6, but if you notice, if I'm gonna lower it down, not sure if you're noticing that, but notice the hue on this part or in this parts. You notice that it gets lighter and then darker. That's the environment diffusion. And then another, actually, can we enlarge this so you can see the full? That's the environment diffuse, and this is the environment specular scale. You notice uh it's gonna be barely not what's called top. So if you notice, it's get kind of bit of sharper, but you'd see this better on actual part. So to actually summarize that, so on if you diffuse, it's kind of more of, it would appear more flat the lower you go, and the higher you go it's gonna be like normal model, something along those lines. And then the specular scale is more on a little bit shiny. So the one you going down is not shiny, and then going up would be a little bit more shiny. So that's kind of the summary on diffuse and specular scale. So of course, global shadow is just the shadow of the models. So you see, even if I have cast shadows in here, if I remove the global shadows in the game, there's no shadow in every corners of your map. And lighting style is, I'd recommend you to be soft, because realistic is of course for games that is actually realistic, and it puts actual ton of processes in your game. Outdoor ambient is mostly the color in the bottom. I would say in the bottom, but it's the one reflecting in your game. So I would suggest, if you have a dark area and you want it brighter, put in a lighter ambient. But if you want it darker, just put in more darkness in the game. And yeah, those are the basic stuff in the lightings that you could know. You could experiment what you would see fit, but we do have another channel wherein we provide you one of the best atmospheres if you're using OBs, if you're using RPGs, or forest, etc., etc. We'd recommend a certain settings in your lighting that you could use. So I hope you learned something on how the lightings work in Roblox, and catch you on another video. Bye bye.